So right now we know what's the state of civil engineering in this country. What's going on?
Most new business owners tend to open up contracting companies without the knowledge of civil engineering, and that has killed the industry.
Yeah. Then they can hire you.
Yeah.
How do I look for a job? I think in mind
choosing certain projects which didn't benefit my career path as such. Yeah, the consequences are dire.
Hi guys, welcome to The Village. My name is Boni. I create content around careers, education with a dose of reality check. Today, guys, I'm not alone. I have a guest, Sipho Madlala, who is a civil engineering professional. He's gonna come and share his career journey with us. And what I want to know, Uguti, how much has he made from the 2010 World Cup? I want to know, Uguti, did really civil engineering benefit the 2010 World Cup? And what's happening like in the atmosphere of civil engineering today in 2023 here in South Africa? Let me not waste your time, guys. Let's welcome Sipho Madlala. Hi, Sipho. Let's welcome you to the village. Please greet the village.
Good morning, friends. How are you?
Hey, it's appeal. It could be in the evening, but anyway, we're just gonna let him say good morning because it's what time is it? It's 11 a.m. Okay. So, Sipho Unjani, how's it going? Kancane. Hey, thiwa ukumcomplain akusizi. Ukhala indoda ayikhali.
Washula imbuzi ukuthi indoda
So, njani? Washula imbuzi.
Khala washula imbuzi.
Oh, ukhala kwashula imbuzi. I know I need to have subtitles. Ukhala kwashula imbuzi. So indoda kumele ikhali.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So today we are, as I've mentioned, guys, we are looking at civil engineering as a profession. You know, and Sipho, just let us know. Let's just say I'm a grade 8 learner. I don't have an idea of what is a technologist and what is an engineer.
To differentiate between the two,
Right.
it all starts with formal education.
Okay.
Which institution you are a product of.
Right.
A technologist or a technician would be a graduate with a national diploma.
Okay.
From what we can now call universities of technology. Predominantly they were called technicals.
Okay. Okay.
Or technical colleges. Therefore, they produce technicians and technologists.
Okay.
Whereas an engineer is a graduate from a university. Where they now graduate with maybe a BEng or a BSc.
Okay.
Degree. Not diploma.
Not diploma. Okay. And what would make one go a diploma route? Is it like what would be the reason for someone not to go maybe the degree route?
There are a number of reasons that come to mind. First and foremost is the qualification criteria.
Okay.
For tertiary acceptance, there's a
points.
Yeah, there's a point system that they have. So if you have not qualified
to meet
a degree,
okay,
you then go through the University of Technology route.
Okay. Did you want to go via what was your reason? What happened with you?
With me?
Because I remember Sipho, guys, he is my age. Just to give people context, you have 19 years experience.
Yes, I do.
Right, a total of 19 years experience. So he's matured, right? So some of the things, like we can hear he's saying technical. You went to MUT.
It was called Mangosuthu Technical back then.
Yeah, Mango, he is a product.
Yes, Mangosuthu University of
Technology. But back in the days, you went when it was technical.
Yes.
Right, okay. So back then, correct me if I'm wrong, most most of us just go to a technicon. Going to a university, it was not a thing, but I might be wrong. Most people just went to technicons back then, and what is this, FETs back then, right? But what was your reason?
My reason was, firstly, the basis point played quite a role too.
Okay.
I couldn't go into university because I could not qualify on their point system.
Okay, you wanted to go to UKZN. Was it UKZN or Westville?
University of Durban, Westville, if I remember correctly at the time.
Yeah.
But what influenced me more, because I could have went to the Technicon, did my first year, and then jump ship to university.
Okay.
But it's the type of training that you receive at a Technicon that differs from the university, whereas at university it's mostly theoretically based.
I love this point, right? Because I know with Technicon you get like, is it 18 months of training after you've done your 2 years, and then on the third year you do practicals, right? So automatically I'm thinking they will give you an advantage.
Yes.
But then where would someone go for a degree?
There's a major difference here. The people who get degrees are the decision makers in the industry.
Oh, okay. Now I get you. Okay.
So they instruct whoever has the practical work on how to do it, because they are the designers of that work.
Oh, so that's the difference. Okay, so the degree holders, they are more on the design. Yeah, okay guys, today we're just gonna keep it at very low level, because me, I'm not an engineer. And I know there are a lot of people who are watching this video who are like me, okay? So they are the designers. The one with the B end is the designer of the work, but you, the technologist or the technician, you are the one who executes.
Yes, in a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
That's how I can put it.
Oh, okay. So that's the difference between an engineer and the technologist.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see here you've had like various types of positions. You've been site manager, of course, a technician, contracts manager, roadworks facilitator, assessor, foreman. Like, what's the difference? And because in my head, I'm thinking, if I'm just doing my civil engineering now, I've qualified as a technologist or as an engineer, I just think, Mina, every time I'm looking for a job, I'm just looking for a job as a civil technician or as a civil engineer. So I just never knew, as you hold this profession, this qualification, you can do all these things.
You can, but there's an entry level for everything.
Right.
Because when you come out as a new graduate,
right,
you qualify to work as a technician.
Right.
Basically. Then after you acquire a certain amount of years, depending on the company you work on, you can now move on to being a senior technician.
Right.
Exactly. So all these roles come with different responsibilities.
Oh, so you can't just straight from university and then now I'm a contracts manager.
It can never be.
Okay, so obviously you're saying that these types of roles, they come with experience, they come with responsibilities. So in terms of salaries, the technician would be the lowest when you are just starting out, obviously.
Yes, in most cases. Yes.
In most cases. And then as you gather experience and getting into these different types of roles, and then the amount that you get will be better. Can you tell me, can you freelance if you are hired by a company? Let's say you are working for a specific company, a consulting company. Can you freelance and do other work somewhere else?
It's all contract dependent.
Okay.
The type of contract that you enter into. With these roles, it's not only experience. For you to move on to another specific role within the industry, there has to be some form of formal training that you undergo as well to improve yourself.
So it's not just your degree, it's not just your BTech, no. Like you need to do other certifications.
Yes. Like for example, for you to be now in management, moving from being a technician, you have to have some form of project management experience and qualification for you to be considered to be a contracts manager or a site manager for that matter.
Okay, so when we talk about projects management, is there specific projects management course in your field, or I can just do any projects management? You know, guys, I always laugh when you send me messages saying, "Ma, please give us a payslip of a projects manager." Guys, that's so broad. Projects management could be anything. So is there a specific qualification, like a body or somewhere where if it's about engineering, like civil engineering, there's a type of projects management?
Yes, there is one that is specific, that deals with civil engineering and how to manage civil contracts.
Where do you get that one? Where do you study?
There are a number of institutions. There are private institutions that you can go to. For one, I can think of, there's one that's called the Project Management Institution.
Okay.
That institution deals mainly with project management that is civil engineering related.
Okay, you're going to give me more, and then I'm just going to put it, guys, on the description box. Those links, he will just give me more. So even in public institutions?
Yes, you can do one at UNISA, the Mancosa,
okay,
Varsity College.
Okay.
But with those qualifications, those project management qualification.
Right.
The way you apply it now in civil engineering would be different to a project manager for a mechanical engineering company.
Okay.
That is why you have one that are dedicated for civil engineering only.
So it's important to specialize, even when you want to go into project management. So if it's within civil, just specialize and make sure that it focuses on civil engineering.
Yes.
So Sipho, project management qualification, Leaga Civil, what does it deal with? Focus on.
Okay, the focal point for project management, which is civil engineering related, focuses mainly on civil contracts.
Okay.
Civil engineering specifications.
Right.
How do you conform to specifications? What directions do you need to follow in order to attain the specified outcome that is required as per civil engineering?
Right.
The clauses which govern civil engineering laws.
Okay.
Amendments to those laws.
Okay.
Remedial actions related to civil engineering defaults. In a nutshell.
Or disputes or
resolutions.
Okay. So it's more on the law side of things.
Yes.
Mainly. Oh, okay. So let's say now I'm new. I just have my advanced diploma or I have my PhD. Where do I look for a job? Do I go, like, what's the difference? Do I look at government? Do I look at consultants? Can you tell us, can you give us an idea before we get to monies? Like, can you give us an idea?
Basically, you can look for work anywhere.
Okay.
You can look for work within government. You can look for work in the private sector.
Right.
It all depends on who takes you first, because you qualify to enter in all those doors.
Okay, so most of the time, government is the client, right?
Yeah.
And then they will government will outsource the work to consultants. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So if I'm there, I'm in the engineer from the government side. What am I doing? Because government will outsource the work. So what is my role?
Your role as an engineer within the municipality?
Yes, the municipality or Department of Public Works.
Is to ensure that the consultant, they are looking after your municipal money and carrying out your contracts. As specified.
Okay, so from an experience point of view, am I correct to say it's better to work for consultants?
It's all the same, basically.
Okay.
It's just that the pressure and the amount of work differs from department to department.
Okay.
You must understand, if you are working for the contractor, you might be as qualified as someone who's sitting in a consultant office.
Mm-hmm.
But your work is more on the ground.
Okay.
You are running on the ground, you've got your dust, your heat, your wind.
Yes.
As a person that is as qualified as you is sitting in a design office with an air-conditioned office. So it's the different types of environments only.
Oh, okay. But from an experience point of view, because what is more important, guys, please like this video, share it, and yeah, just share it with people that might need it. And please don't forget to subscribe to the village. I see we are growing. We are heading to 15K subscribers. But maybe by the time you watch this video, we would have reached 15K subscribers. Okay, so I just want to understand, because what is important for me for this village is people want experience, they want exposure, they want to be in progressive environments. So I think this is why I'm asking, if I'm working for consultants, will I not get more experience and more exposure and work on multiple projects, have more pressure, have the wind, the rain, but compared if I'm working in the public sector and I'm working for the municipality or the Department of Public Works?
Actually, I would advise anyone who's a new graduate,
right,
to start working for contractors. Because that is mainly where you learn how to do the work.
Good. Okay.
How to install certain systems.
Okay.
How to differentiate between the types of materials that you need to use. It's more groundwork. So for example, you know how to assemble things. That's where you get the experience. The money might be less, but you'll get the experience. The money might even be more. Oh! Okay. We love that. Okay, so the money might be more if you work for contractors. Yes. Okay. And then as you gain experience, then you can move now on to consultants, because now you must remember you need to approve what the contractor has done. Okay, so sorry to cut you. I just want to be clear. I think I've been using the same words, consultant, contractor. So there's a difference between a contractor and a consultant. Yes. And then there is the client. In most cases, the government, maybe the municipality is the client. Yes. So the contractor is the one who's doing the groundwork. Yes. And then they report to the consultant. Yes, exactly. The consultant now is the one that got the tender from the municipality. Yeah. Okay, so guys, that's how things work. Okay, so with the contractor, that's where I get more experience and I can get more money. But how are the benefits? In most cases, because with contractors, you work on a contract to contract basis. There's nothing fixed. Oh, so okay. In most cases, there are no benefits as such. But when you're a young man, yeah, you want your VR, your Vura, your Vrupa. I know. So if you want your Vrupa, ube comfortable, ube nemali, ube no cash, you are making your money there. It just depends how you distribute and whatnot. You just want to learn how to do the work. Yeah. First. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing before the money. Okay. Gain a lot of experience working for a contractor. Right. And then move on to being a consultant, because now you are now approving what they have done. But if you start with a consultant, it's difficult for you to tell somebody how to get to the end point if you don't know yourself. Okay. You understand? Okay. So for you, where did you start? For me, it was vice versa. Really? Did you start with consultants? Yes. Okay, but you do see the difference. I do see that. Okay, so you started with consultants for how long? For a while? For 8 years.
8 years. And then, so how was it for you to work for a contractor?
The transition was a difficult one, I won't lie. But what assisted me is that even though I was working for consultants, I was mostly site-based.
Oh.
And I wasn't an office-based consultant.
Okay.
The one who actually would only be called out to site when the product is finalized.
Oh,
so I
okay.
would be there in the process of them building things and assist them. So that it helped me somewhat.
Okay, but if someone is fresh from varsity or wherever, you just say starts there.
Yeah.
And then you work your way up. Okay. So right now we know what's the state of civil engineering in this country, what's going on. I always get, that's the reason I have you here. I always get graduates, they say they can't even get in-service training. Like, what's happening? Like, as a person who's been in this industry for 19 years, can you just tell us, what's the vibe, what's going on?
Just like any other industry, an industry will have its ups and downs.
Right.
Right now, civil engineering industry is having somewhat of a downfall.
Right.
There are many factors which influence that. There's an influx and an infiltration.
Infiltration.
Infiltration, sorry.
Right, it's fine.
Of other people who have entered the industry and not making it easy now to work. There's been a steady decline in the industry.
So when you say people have been entering the industry, as what? As consultants, as contractors?
Mainly as contractors, because for you to acquire consultancy, there are certain guidelines.
Right.
Which are stringent.
Okay.
So most new business owners tend to open up contracting companies.
Okay.
Without the knowledge of civil engineering, and that has killed the industry.
That's what has killed the industry, right? Okay, we're not gonna get too political, but I think when you know, you know. When you know, you know. Okay, so now with that, but then isn't there that body whereby, let's say I want to, there's some construction going on, and then I want to apply for the tender. There is that body whereby CIPD. So is it still? It doesn't help even with CIPD. We have to be registered there. Like if I want to register a contracting company, don't I have to be, or one of the directors need to be a civil engineer?
That's where the problems began.
Right.
Because they are a company of registrar of companies.
Right.
Anyone can just open it and be a director. Without the formal education that is required for you to be the director in that industry.
Then they can hire you.
Yes.
So what is required from CIPD is just to hire you, not for you to be a director as a technologist, as an engineer. As long as they have you on their payroll to show that we have the expertise, we have Sipho Madlala who has 19 years experience. So those people can run that business and they can get that work.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But then in consultancy, it's more difficult.
Consultancy is more controlled. The director of a consulting company has to have a certain degree.
Oh, okay.
They have to be registered under a certain body.
Professional body.
They have to be accountable.
Okay.
For every action that they do. So it's not just an open industry. It's a category that is run by professionals.
By professionals. Do you find that? It's mostly? Do you find black people at that level? Like, has there been growth or opportunities for black people to be at consultancy level?
Yes, of late, yes. I've seen
it's happening now.
Many colleagues opening up consultancies. And they're drifting away from contracting because now, you must remember, in order for you to run a consultancy firm, you as the director has to be an engineer.
Fantastic. So, okay, because now there's regulations and you are reliable for stuff and whatnot. Oh, okay. So I see. So now, as someone who's watching this, they're about to graduate or they have graduated, like, where can they start? Like, if I'm looking for a contractor, like, how do I look for a job? I think that's where I want us to go. Like, which website? Like, where do I go? Do I go directly to the municipality website? Like, what do I do?
Sure, there are a number of avenues. Many contractors have created databases.
Okay.
You can register on their databases. Really, there are programs that are run by government for interns. Go to your local municipality.
Right.
Submit your documentation.
Okay.
They always have openings for interns. Every contract that they dish out now has to have a stipulated number of interns under that contract or program.
Oh, so graduates can just go to municipalities and then be part of a program and just register. Also, it's municipality and you said contractors.
Contractors.
Okay, so how do I find a contractor?
The best way is just go to your local municipality.
Oh, okay.
And they will assign you to whichever contractor that will be working within that municipality.
Within that municipality. Okay, guys, I hope you get that use your local municipality, But do you find that it was easier for you back then, 19 years ago, when you were fresh from university? How long did it take for you to get to do your in-service training? Is it 18 months, right?
It's 12 months.
12 months. How long for you to get that? Like, was it easier back then?
It wasn't easy, but it wasn't as difficult as it is now.
It's difficult now.
It took me a year.
Oh, okay. So you were just home for a year, but then you got...
Sending CVs. Yeah, after a full year, then I started getting my in-service training.
Your in-service, and then after that, it's always been employed.
Yes, basically.
Okay, so right now it's difficult.
Right now, it's more difficult than it was back then.
Do you think the 2010 World Cup benefited your industry?
Yes. Yes.
Who benefited the most? Is it you, like just employees, people are getting job opportunities, contractors, consultants? Like, it benefited, but how? Like, where were you? Just tell us, where were you during this frenzy of 2010 World Cup? Because I'm sure the World Cup was in 2010, but things were happening prior. Yeah. So where were you?
I was still in my junior years at that time.
Okay.
Prior, we must remember infrastructure developments only started taking place after 2006.
Okay.
And in 2006, that's where I was running projects for consultants, learning. I was still under mentorship myself.
Oh, okay.
So leading up to the World Cup, I did get a lot of exposure.
Okay.
The 2010 World Cup lifted a whole lot of local contractors in terms of exposure. They got a lot more insights into the industry because we had a lot of global influence.
Okay.
We had a lot of international companies coming into South Africa.
Okay. So you were learning from them.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you're still in your junior years, but you got a lot of exposure. Life was good. Life was good. And then what happened after 2010, industry-wise?
Instead of being on the rise, as I had mentioned before, with this interference of outside forces.
Right, people who are not within the industry, who are not qualified.
You found a lot of affluent companies pulling out of contracts and running away from I'm talking about your major players in the industry. with over 50 years experience running things.
Yeah.
With magnificent infrastructure that they had built, pulling away, not because of financial constraints, but because of these influences that were coming in.
The politics. So they just put, so can you say a lot of companies, international, global players, I'm sure even investment-wise, we did suffer in terms of like people who come in as investors and stuff. But now, so they pull their resources from South Africa.
Yes.
And then you find that the young ones, now the upcoming people, they're stuck with these type of companies that we are talking about. Not the ones that have been running this for 60 years, 50 years.
Yes.
Wow.
And they actually suffered the most.
Which ones?
The up and coming, because if you've got no one grooming you in such a way that is directing you in the right path.
Right.
So you now find yourself becoming a product
of mediocrity.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I see what you mean. I see what you mean, because now if you don't have those people who would have, like, once maybe you've met someone who already had 20 years experience under their mentorship, so it's quite different, you know. So like, not that we're trying to like discourage people. If you had a child that wants to do civil, will you say yeah?
Just like any other profession, tell them to follow their dream. It's an industry after all.
It's an industry.
It's not dead.
It's not dead.
It can still be revived. Just
at whose expense? My expense as a parent, taking you. But can you let's just rewind a bit. That was a bit emotional for me, because I really love it. It makes me sad when you see people who did, guys, their maths and stuff, they suffered. These people, they suffered going through school, and then you find that they can't get the right opportunities that they deserve, the right mentorship that they deserve, the right exposure, and you know, so it's just heartbreaking. But were you exposed? Which school did you go to? We went to Hillview, ne?
No. It was Newlands East Secondary School.
Okay, you went to Newlands East. Okay, back in the days when it was still Newlands East Secondary School. Okay, it was a colored school, right? Back then, were you exposed to career guidance?
I think we had a subject maybe once a week.
Where they focus on careers.
Vocational education and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had an hour per week.
An hour, okay. So you always knew you want to do engineering?
I knew I wanted to do civil engineering as early as standard 5.
Really?
Yeah.
What inspired you?
My late father used to work for one of the major contractors as a clerk.
Oh, so, why did you think your dad was a driver?
in his later years.
Later years, he was driving. He was on the road. Okay, so he worked as a clerk. Okay.
A clerk in one of the major construction companies, and he would come home and talk about this industry.
Right. You know? Hey, these engineers, they're making money.
So I slowly fell in love with this thing, and it became a passion for me. As I'm saying, as early as standard 5,
which is grade 7.
Which is grade 7 now. Yeah,
right.
I knew. Going into high school, I knew what I wanted to do.
Okay, that's
Matriculating,
good.
I knew exactly what. Even if I couldn't get an opening for a civil engineering spot at technical, I would have sacrificed another year and waited until I had space.
So it's not something that someone told you, no, you are good at maths, then just do this. You knew.
I knew.
So your father had influence.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I think he did. No, I think he did. Did you have a bursary or your parents paid for it? Your mom, because I know your father was late by then when you went to MUT. So your mom now was by herself. who is a nurse. So now, did your mom pay for it or you had a bursary?
So she took me through from my very first semester to my last semester, paying
Really?
through her own finances as a single parent.
She financed everything.
Everything from residence to books, tuition fees,
Everything. I remember back then there wasn't what we see now, whereby people can just get grants. So how did you get your internship? What was the process?
Oh, Andrew, we're still on that. That was influenced by a lot of frustration. Yeah?
Right? How?
You must remember, I had been at home for
A year.
a year.
Okay.
So I had to throw the rule book out of the window, basically.
Okay.
But yeah, that's, without telling too much, that's how I got it. I was forced to make a phone call
Okay.
and not be totally honest.
Okay.
And
somehow.
for me to get a chance to be seen for that interview.
Oh, to be seen. Okay, so you had to play around some tricks in yan.
Yes.
Okay, because you were frustrated now. You'd already been
calling
here.
in. At that time, we would be
Calling.
posting, faxing.
Okay.
Email that much.
Okay, yes, I remember 2006. Yeah.
Snail mail, faxing, phone calling, without any income, and the cost of that too
Was too
enormous.
much.
Yeah. So I sat down one day and I thought of a trick of how I'm going to do it.
Then you played a trick and then they gave you an opportunity.
It was my master plan and it worked. I hope my former employers not watching.
And it worked, and then they gave you an opportunity for an interview.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, again, sometimes you have to play tricks. We're not going to mention what trick is it. Okay. Any career regrets at the moment? 19 years later, what would you have done? Like, do you look back and say, I would have done that differently if maybe I had knew or whatever? Like, any regrets?
Yes, you can't have 19 years of smooth sailing.
Okay.
Yeah, there will be hiccups along the way. I do regret some decisions that I've made, industry decisions, professionally decisions.
Like choosing money.
Choosing certain projects.
Oh.
Which didn't benefit my career path as such.
But it was where you were, like it was for maybe financial
gain, but yet compromising your integrity.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so there will be that. So sometimes you are just caught between a rock and a hard place.
Yes.
Okay, no, I see what you mean. Okay, and right now, what's next for you? Like, what would you like to do?
I'm headed towards retirement.
This guy is 42. He's talking about retirement. Guys, please like and share this video and let me know what other professionals would you like me to bring to the village. And if you have any questions for this guy, make sure that you leave them in the description. He's got a lot of experience, 19 years, guys. Yeah, well, do you do mentorship? Do you mentor young people?
Yes, I do. I do a lot of mentorship.
You do, eh? I saw here you have some qualification of being an assessor.
Facilitator. Development. I train people in construction, individuals.
Okay.
Municipal workers, municipal supervisors.
Oh.
On their roads and stormwater departments. I do training for emerging contractors.
Okay.
On how to manage contracts.
Okay. So now that is under like your own company, not as part of consulting someone else. It's under your thing.
I do it individually. I do it for service providers.
Okay. Yes. And you offer mentorship to youngsters. So guys, if you have any question for this guy, make sure that you leave it in the comment section below. I'll pass it to him and we just see how it goes. But guys, please don't send me your CVs because I know what's going to happen. Don't send me your CVs. He has explained they need to go via a municipality.
Yes.
That's their best bet.
Best.
That's one thing that you can tell them. They shouldn't send you their CV. They shouldn't send me their CV. Okay, so if someone is watching this, they want to pursue this career, Shampuna 12, what advice would you give them? Now we are advising someone who is yet to go to high school. So I want us, maybe a parent is watching this and she knows or he knows that their child wants to be a civil engineer like you one day. What advice would you give them?
If you want to pursue this industry, just like any other industry, don't be money driven.
Okay.
But follow it if you have a passion for it. And then the money will follow.
Yeah. Because it can be rewarding.
Yes.
It can be rewarding. Okay. And if you were not, I know you knew this when you were in grade 7, but if you're not doing this, what would you do?
I would have become a professional soccer player.
Really? I think every black guy in our era, they wanted to be. Did you play soccer?
Yes, a lot.
A lot. Also, you would have went that road.
Followed that path, maybe.
Path.
Hopefully, it would have worked, but maybe it wouldn't have.
Would your parents, like your mom, would have supported that, or?
She actually discouraged me in my matric year to drop this whole football thing and pursue my studies. For that, maybe.
Yeah. So they must, if they're passionate about this industry, a 12-year-old, if they are passionate about it, but they must prepare themselves. Like, how can they prepare themselves for this? They need to get their maths, right? Maths and physics.
Maths, physical science and English.
And English.
Yeah, and just do a whole lot of research.
A whole lot of research.
Know what you're getting yourself into. Do background checks.
Company background checks.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen now is young people, the way they can even be desperate, and then they find themselves working for dodgy companies who are not paying them on time or whatever. So they need to do a background check on a company.
Yeah, it's very vital. Very vital. You must know what you're getting yourself into.
Because it can even jeopardize you as a professional.
Yes. And mess up your reputation too.
Yeah, I think we need to, we didn't talk about that. I think we didn't talk, but that's how deep this thing is. You know, it's not just like how I'm a marketer. That's minor thing. So it's not like a lot of things. Because now in your industry, people can even die if something went wrong. The consequences are just angazi.
Yeah, the consequences are dire.
Right.
And I always compare this industry to industrial hotel.
Yeah.
Whereby you are handling people's life. This infrastructure we in front of your eyes carries people.
Yeah.
So if you were to cut corners as many people do,
right,
and do shoddy work, that's why you have collapses of bridges, collapses of buildings.
Right.
And those have fatal consequences.
Right.
You understand?
Mm.
And it goes back to governing the industry.
Right.
Someone has to be accountable for that. And by that, I mean professionals have to take over their industry.
Sipho, thank you so much for your time. Siyabonga. Just look into the camera. I know you've been looking at me. This guy is very shy, but I'm just delighted that he agreed to do this for us. Just look into the camera. Just last words for someone now who's a graduate. What should they do? Like, encourage encourage. I'm not in the industry. How can you encourage them? Graduates now.
Graduates
right.
Follow the proper channels. There are many government programs about keeping off late. I know it's good and it's been difficult to break into the industry, but they are shedding some light in Germany and opening up new doors. So follow these public works programs,
right?
Your municipal programs. Get on to your Department of Transport. or Mick Cookta.
Yeah, we're gonna have the links. Some of them.
Yeah.
Just give me the links in the description box below. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like this video, subscribe, and leave us a comment if you have a question for Sipho. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.